I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Welcome to Improve Your Relationships, where I like to talk about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And this video is slightly a little different from other videos. It has a bit of a cheerleading quality. It has a bit of a put it out there, say it like it is, be direct, because I want to say something that I know many people like to hear and need to hear. And they even say it to themselves, but it's so easy to ignore or not pay attention or realize that you need it to be heard again and again and again. And there's reasons for that, which I'll acknowledge. And the statement is, he's not going to change. Wake up. Stop pretending that something will be different and someone somehow will learn some amazing new skill or have some epiphany or aha moment or really be able to discover a completely different way of relating and finally be able to give you what you need, what you want, and offer emotional connection. This is not happening. Now, let's put a little asterisk here off to the side, or real quick tangent. Of course, I don't know the specifics of your relationship and if someone can or can't change, if you can or can't change. But here's the point. This is why I'm doing this video. Do you know the number of people that I talk to who repeatedly loop in a predictable cycle of an unhealthy relationship with a partner that they mostly knew and know, or they knew from early on and they still know today? This is not the right relationship for them. And they have a series of evidence. He does this, he did this, he did this, this happened. And if they are even able to look at their own self and their own list to say, well, I don't want this, I don't bring this to the relationship, this is where I have to grow. And because I've picked this person, it's just like not the right conducive time for me to learn these new healing skills myself. And nonetheless, even though people that I have been talking to for over 15 years, it's a reoccurring experience that we seem to keep looping in our own dysfunction, where we come back with the dishonest question, do you think he can change? And the answer is no. He's not changing. This is who he is. This is who you picked. And you have known this for 2 years, 5 years, 17 years, 23 years, or 6 months. I don't know how long it's been. But I'm so sorry. I was going to say ridiculous because it sounds like I'm calling you ridiculous. Please know I join you. I've done this myself many times. So it's not so much that we are ridiculous, but the thought process is ridiculous. I'm really trying to point out, to say, let's get more grounded and honest with ourselves about where does this come from? And usually it's our unintegrated, unresolved attachment trauma and this profound longing and a fear of abandonment, where we want to pick someone who's just not the right person for us because we can't fathom being alone. And that we'd much rather be linked to the longing of the potential of one day connecting with this person that we've chosen than be honest with ourselves that we need to drop into our own aloneness and not to be attached, not to be in relationship with the partner that we picked, who's the wrong partner. And if you can very simply inventory, the last 5 days of your emotional distress, or you inventory the last year of how frequently do you feel disappointed, disconnected, that your emotional needs are not getting met, that the other person is failing you, that you feel rejected, you feel left out, you feel unknown, you feel unheard, you feel unseen. If you inventory and you really look at it, you're just weighing it, and you have to be honest with yourself that this is not a helpful situation to you. This is not a nourishing situation for you. It's not because he can't be nourishing. It's because you realize in your life that that's just not what you want. But you won't be honest with that. Instead of taking control of your life and saying, I don't want this. I really, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to take a break from relationship. I'm willing to go through the grief of grieving, the ending with this person that we have this on again, off again dance. But you're not able to really embrace and look at that history and the unmet needs and to be honest that the writing is on the wall. And what is the writing? Is just saying this is the wrong partner for you. Instead of looking all of that at that, your brain returns to, well, how do we scheme and solve? How do we make it different? How do we come up with a plan so we can prolong this? Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. And included in that is maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll change. If we could just get him on board with therapy. Yeah, he needs therapy. He really needs to look at his history. He really needs to look at what's going on in his baggage. And usually when people do this, when you do this, when I do this, we'll also say, oh, well, I have work too. I have work to do. Of course I'm going to, I'll go to therapy too. I'll do my work. I'll really do my work. But for him, if he could just do, because, he needs to change. If he's going to change, then the relationship is going to be, salvageable. He's not changing. He's not going to therapy. If he was, he would already be in therapy doing his own thing. He'd spearheaded. He does not need you to be a manager of his life. He does not need you to be a social worker or a case manager to buy him books and to tell him, what healing modality, healing insight that he needs. If he wanted that, he would just do it on his own. He knows where the library is. He knows where Barnes and Noble is. He knows how to go to Amazon and do a search or do a Google search. If he wanted to change, he would take charge of his life and do his own thing. The fact that you want to try to work so hard to give a very strong presentation, to get him on board, to go to therapy, to change, and to be who you want him to be. That says more about your codependency and that you're meddling in his life because you cannot look at your own profound grief and disappointment in the fact that you have picked the wrong partner. That doesn't mean he's a bad partner. That doesn't mean that he's an evil person. It just means that you're not being honest with yourself to give it a rest and to end. You don't know how to end. So this video is for anybody who needs to come back and hear this again and again and again. This is for the people at 2 a.m. in the morning who decide to text their ex with some confusing comment about, hey, I wish that we were still together. Why don't, I'm hoping that we can talk tomorrow. I so miss you. When we do that, many of us know when we do that we don't really want to be with this person. It's that we can't manage our own loneliness at 2 a.m. We can't manage our own longing at 2 a.m. And so we reach out and we're yet trying again to pull this person into a relationship. And then the moment that, we think that we're back together, or even the moment when we're trying to make something work, we're going to be disappointed and we're going to be frustrated. And he's just the same old person he's always been. And now you're even more justified in being angry and bitter. And then you're going to have to tell him once again how he needs to change. The message of this video, the point of this video is wake up. He's not changing, and it's time to be honest with yourself and make other plans for your life. Quit wasting your life. Quit wasting trying to make something happen and to be in charge of someone else's healing process. That is not your job. focus on yourself and learn some skills that help you focus on yourself. I hope that this is helpful. It can be painful to hear, difficult to hear. Please know that I've needed to hear this 4,700 times at different times in my life. And so maybe you needed to hear it 47 and 100 times. I'm just saying it's a lot. It just keeps coming. It just keeps, looping. And many people, many of us get stuck here on this fantasy of change. And we have to realize that in and of itself is the way that we're lying to, we're being dishonest with ourselves. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Empathy to you. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you also want to receive an email or a download of a handout that I created on